In the Premier Division is Rob McLean. Good evening, Rob.
Good evening, Jackie. Thank you. Tomorrow, on the last day of the league season, Kilmarnock, Motherwell and Hibs are in a three-way fight to steer clear of the relegation playoff against Airdrie. Raith Rovers are already on the way down. One of the three clubs above will join them. The pressure's on, as Forbes McFall reports.
It's an extraordinary season's end for Kilmarnock. A cup final on its way in a fortnight while they battle for Premier Division survival. At Rugby Park today, Killie fans queued for cup tickets. But they know avoiding relegation could be more vital than reaching the final. If they beat Aberdeen tomorrow, Kilmarnock's Premier survival is guaranteed.
This is a cup final tomorrow against Aberdeen. We keep on saying that week after week, big game, you know, but it's a massive game for us tomorrow, and we'll be treating it as a cup final.
Is it in some sense a bigger game than the cup final?
Well, who knows until we get to the cup final, you know. Of course it's a big game. You can't compare the two of them, you know. I mean, the cup means so much to the fans, but to all the fans here, staying in the Premier League means so much to them, you know.
Known as the team who were relegated before they played in a cup final. And they've another worry, with top scorer Paul Wright in danger of missing their big day out. Tomorrow's a big day. One out of three clubs, Kilmarnock, Motherwell and Hibs, will go into the playoff with Airdrie and run the risk of relegation. Hibs play Raith Rovers at Starks Park tomorrow. Motherwell are at home to Dunfermline, and Kilmarnock, 1 point better off than the other two, can keep their Premier place by beating Aberdeen at Rugby Park. Top scorer Paul Wright won't play, and injury makes him doubtful for the cup final as well.
This was the moment when time stood still for Paul Wright. It ended his involvement at East End Park, and he feared in the cup final as well.
I was just in pain. I had to look down the leg and just seen I was just sliced open.
Right, Paul, how was it this morning?
Paul's ruptured muscle injury has been improving by the day, despite the fact there was something fishy about his boss Bobby Williamson's initial prognosis.
We were up in the hospital after the doctor had put the stitches in and that. They sat me down next to the radio, and it was Radio Scotland it was on. And just at that minute, Bobby had come on and just says, somebody had asked him about what happened to me. And just says, it looked like he's been bitten by a shark.
Great White Wright, as he'll now be known, is still hopeful he'll be able to get his teeth into the cup final at Ibrox. His 13 stitches come out on Saturday, but it'll be a further 10 days or so before Wright knows if he'll be ready. Meantime, he'll miss the crunch game against the Dons tomorrow.
I think it's maybe a bigger game than what the cup final will be, because to stay up in the Premier League is what every team strives for every year, apart from maybe Rangers and Celtic. You know, I don't want to play in the First Division. Nobody else in that dressing room does. So hopefully the boys will pull through.
Killie's cup euphoria has temporarily been forgotten on this, the eve of one of the most dramatic final days of the season for many a year.
For the three teams at the bottom, Hibs, Motherwell, ourselves, maybe we get a breather in the midweek game. We're getting a point against Celtic. But I think I wouldn't like to be a manager on Saturday. You know, I think every team's got to get 3 points. We know if we win on Saturday, you know, we'll stay up. Doesn't matter any other results. But if we draw, we're hanging on. Another two teams win, we're back in the playoff. But I say it's good for everybody else looking in, but not for us.
One of the many cash-strapped clubs and seats in the executive box. Watch this and win.
He centres and Merchant scores. Falkirk won ahead. From a corner, Killie's Davy Curlett brings the crowd to their feet with the equaliser. The ball's flicked across to Douglas Moran. He runs through, and yes, that's it. Falkirk and their fans go mad with joy. They've brought home the cup for the first time in 27 years.
Well, that was the last meeting of Kilmarnock and Falkirk in a Scottish Cup final back in 1957. Falkirk won 2-1 in a replay. But who scored the goals? Name the goal scorers in that 1957 Cup final replay.
Out to avoid the R word, we spotlight the three-way contest over that relegation playoff spot.
We'll get it out of the way and get 3 points, and we can look forward to the build-up and that of the Scottish Cup. which we've not really thought about. It doesn't seem as if we're in the final because we've got so many important games there the last few weeks.
Motherwell, Kilmarnock and Hibernian face an anxious 90 minutes to learn their fate. So Neil Henderson has been monitoring the stress levels of the managers still involved in the fight for survival.
The pressure is certainly on the managers of Motherwell, Kilmarnock and Hibs for what could be considered as the most important 90 minutes in years for all three clubs. A place in the two-leg playoff against Airdrie is looming next week for the losers on either goal difference or through defeat in their respective matches. Cup finalist Kilmarnock held their cause with a point against Celtic on Wednesday night. But after last weekend's 2-1 defeat at the hands of Dunfermline and the loss of top scorer Paul Wright, tomorrow's match against Aberdeen has dual importance, vital Premier points and players battling for a cup final appearance.
We've spoken to Airdrie about arranging dates and things like that if it comes to it, and I think the other two clubs must have done so as well, because you just don't know what's round the corner in this game. There's so many twists and turns to this season, and I think there possibly could be another one this Saturday.
Former St Mirren and St Johnstone defender Kevin McGowan has tasted relegation from the top flight twice, most recently with the Perth Saints in 1994, something which he's confident won't happen again.
We'll get it out of the way and get 3 points, and we can look forward to the build-up and that of the Scottish Cup, which we've not really thought about. It doesn't seem as if we're in the final because we've got so many important games there the last few weeks.
There's been a big demand for cup final tickets ahead of the game against Falkirk at Ibrox, but manager Bobby Williamson is urging the fans to get right behind the team tomorrow before they look ahead to the big gala day.
That's right, they know the importance of it as well. They want to see us staying in this league, and they'll be out in their numbers tomorrow. I just hope we don't let them down.
We could have done without it, but it's come down to it, and we've just got to make the most of it tomorrow. We managed to get a result against Celtic on Wednesday, which has put us in a wee bit better position, but we know we've still got to go out and get the 3 points tomorrow.
Yeah, let's just remind ourselves of those three vital fixtures tomorrow. Kilmarnock at home to Aberdeen, Motherwell at home to Dunfermline and Hibs Charlie having to go to Wraith Rovers. Who would you say at this stage?
Well, the favourites for me at the moment has to be Hibs. After seeing them last Sunday live, I thought they were pretty shocking at the back, and it doesn't look too good for them, Jim, but I ain't convinced any of these teams are going to win. I think Dunfermline are a real problem tomorrow because they don't care, and their style upsets people. And Aberdeen, are so unpredictable, you never can tell. I'd have to say, I think Hibs are favourites, although I think Motherwell might find it tough.
I'm not quite sure what he said there, but I think he said that Hibernian are favourites for that playoff spot.